On this day, the Father declares, I am your healing. Both suffering and loss are in your past. Your experience of being rejected is finally coming to an end. In your life, the work of Calvary extends further than you have been aware of up until this point. I was turned down so that you may be welcomed into the fold. The idea that you could be embraced by heaven captivated me, and I fell in love with men. I made it possible for you to experience less suffering in your life by sacrificing my own blood and a body that has been beaten. What happens to you in the future will not be determined by the profound disheartening experiences of the past. Let go of it. Trust me to put your life back together, and let go of the burden that you are carrying. When I bring you into a good land, I will cause you to experience a level of blessing and oneness that you never imagined would ever be possible again. I will also cause you to know and enjoy this level of blessing. This is what God says, trust me with your tears. Each and every instance of sorrow, loss, and betrayal was a moment in which I felt closer to you than your hands and feet, even closer than the breath that you breathe through your nostrils. Allow yourself to be completely engulfed by the entirety of my promise. Please have faith that I am restoring you to life, curing you, and bringing you back from the brink of death. Do not give in to the temptation of allowing the sour remnants of your past experiences to poison your enjoyment and your desire for better things in the future. Please be aware that I am working toward achieving a more favorable outcome. We will be able to retrieve all that has been taken. In the future, you will be amazed at the extent of my generosity and the goodness that I have shown you. God advises that you should take comfort in that confidence because it is your definite guarantee. Today, God encourages us to have a strong and courageous character. To put it simply, there is not a single aspect of your existence that is not open to modification by my hand. Refuse to let the adversary give you the creeps. If you are fearful of the compulsion of the enemy against your life or against your plans, you should not be terrified of either of these things. It is not just you who is going through this. There are other people who are also dealing with the onslaught of circumstances and situations. You have my support. There is no way that I will ever abandon you. In the event that you find yourself in hell, I will rescue you from that place, declares God. I want you to understand, says the Father, that I am a God who is always on time. When you call out to me in your time of need, I will deliver you from every difficulty that you are experiencing. Because I am your God, you must make a conscious decision to not be perturbed. You are being strengthened by me. Your right hand is supporting you as I hold you up. In places where there has been a sense of loss and discouragement, I am conveying a sense of entitlement and blessing. Try to find my empire. Because you have chased after me and everything that I have for you in life, I will add everything to your life in double measure. Seek first my kingdom with all your power, and you will see that everything will be added to your life in double measure. According to what the Father has revealed to us today, addiction will not have power over you. At this very moment, every chain is being brought down, and every bondage is being released. According to God, the tentacle of illegitimate dependence that has been hanging over your life is being shattered. I make this proclamation to you, you will not perish but rather live. At this very moment, I am removing your feet from the enemy's net, which means that the destroyer is being turned back. You are not the only one. This is not something that you are dealing with on your own. I observe your suffering and your despair, says the Father. I take note of both. Right now, I am offering my pity and loving kindness to you because I am aware of the deep humiliation that you are harboring. Your sob has been heard by me. In this very moment, God declares, I am removing your guilt and releasing you from your confinement. Here I am, standing at your side. Freedom belongs to you. My spirit and my presence are freeing you from your confinement. Be aware that the walls of addiction that have encircled you will be dismantled by the presence of my presence. Try to find my presence. Throughout the day and night, you should be singing songs that proclaim deliverance and glory. Soak up the heaviness of my spirit, which is God the Shekinah. The weight of my kabod grandeur weighed heavily on you as you lay down all night. You are not able to be held hostage by any chain. Even in this very moment, there are no barriers that can prevent me from storming into your life and releasing you from your confinement. In this day and age, the Father instructs us to place our reliance in me rather than in our own wounds. The events of your life have come together to teach you certain things, and the disappointments you have had in the past will force you to declare, I will never do that again or trust this situation again. I want you to know that whenever those concepts and fortresses establish themselves in your mind, they are a form of litigation against my very lordship in your life. You will only get so far, my lover, if you learn from the lessons that wounded and past hurts have to offer. I am always with you, guaranteeing you of an outcome of peace and full blessing where only bitter regret was once entrenched in your inner man and your personal history. Set away those fragmented judgments and know that while it is true that man is not trustworthy in all things, I am always with you. To put it simply, this is what the phrase, beauty from ashes, literally means. In order to bring the highest heart's desire and biggest dream fulfilled on the very ground where you buried your hopes and extinguished your aspirations, I take the dust and refuse of things that have happened in the past and work in your life to exert my command and my grace over you. Have you faith in me? After that, I will handle everything from here on out. I will never leave you and I will never forsake you, and I will never give up until my perfect plan is brought about, which will bring about the full manifestation of life and life more abundantly in your situation. Make a decision to go where I lead and accept that, even though difficulties arise and it appears that you are going to get hurt once more. Today, the Father tells you that you are now entering the place where you will be blessed. Under the light of this sun, you will feel my hand removing you from the muck and confinement of a situation that is bitter. It is not necessary to be in a state of panic or to cry out in fright. I have listened to you throughout the allotted period, and I will not allow the adversary to continue to make a financial profit off of your life for even a single second longer. Try to put yourself in the position of Daniel in the lion's den. Be aware that I have silenced the lips of those who would devour, and that I will deliver you with a shout of victory from all the anticipation that your adversaries have. On this day, I am doing favors for you with those individuals with whom you need to have favors, and I am engaging in other activities with those who are worried with your demise. Put my word on your lips at all times. Rather than honoring my name, I have honored my word. You are bringing me into the situation when you say my word. Place your trust in the promise that I have made on this day. When you stick to my word and internalize it as your baseline anticipated outcome, you will not become dissatisfied with the results. I promise that my word is unwavering and that it is certain. I respect my word as a weapon of weaponry for you to use. My word is a weapon that I have placed in your hand, and I have brought security into your heart. Your deliverance is at hand. There is a shift taking place right now. Change is on the horizon. The process of healing is currently underway. Accept it and wait with eager anticipation for the things that are currently falling upon you that are raining down. When it comes to your life, the strength of the adversary has been broken, the Father declares today. You have been released from the control of the darkness, and you have been transferred into the realm of my kingdom. Your natural setting is the kingdom of heaven, and it is exactly there that I have directed the blessing to be bestowed upon your life for all eternity. Maintain your stance in that liberty and do not allow yourself to be dragged out of or away from my peace by the arguments of other people. In light of the fact that you have been freed from the shackles of sin, you must not permit men to bind you to the mentality of a religious institution. Make it your goal to be a man who is able to accept instructions, but only those instructions that resonate with the affirmation and confirmation of the inward witness of my spirit. This is the purpose that you should have in your heart. You will be able to determine the nature of the people in your immediate vicinity not by the protestations they make, but rather by the nature of the things that they leave behind. To what extent do they leave a blessing in their wake? What is the location of the fruit? The Father asks. In the event that you reach out for grapes and return with thistles, you will know that something is not quite right. Those in positions of authority who speak to the higher call and the bigger witness of my glory in your life should be sought out on your behalf. No more routines of using a carrot and a stick, which invariably result in one's disappointment. Maintain a respectful and humble demeanor. Be quick to listen and slow to talk, and judge everything based on the witness that you perceive within yourself. Put yourself in a position of waiting until I make everything plain. This is required in the areas where that is lacking. In today's message, the Father declares that death has been devoured in victory. In the same way that your days are, so will your strength be. My lover, death, is the final adversary, and I will destroy it by putting it under my feet. You do not have to be afraid of death because when I am here, there is no death. When compared to the unchanging nature of your time spent with me, the valley of death and the fear of loss are like a fleeting vapor. Even if terrible events occur, you should have faith in me because there will come a time when I will ultimately and permanently place death under my feet. You still have hope, even though you are in the presence of this terrible confluence of events. Your witness will be preserved, and your joy will be genuine and significant, for the hope that you anchor in me will sustain you and bring you through. It is not necessary to strengthen your bravery or to downplay the difficulty of facing the challenge of mortality. The ability to witness eternity being consumed by mortality is your personal legacy. You have everything you need to be saved. You should be aware that time is not running out for you. I manufacture time and deposit it into your account whenever it feels like time is running out. Does this not sound like something that Hezekiah went through? As soon as the prophet himself announced that Hezekiah's reign was coming to an end, Hezekiah flung himself against the wall and pleaded with me to save him. When Hezekiah was going through a difficult time, I was able to hear him tell his beloved, "My heart is inclined to hear your cry and to respond with an affirmative outcome in your interest." The Father advises us to learn how to limit the number of counselors we have. When it comes to counseling, having a large number of counselors is of little value if they are not on your side or if they are not imparting wisdom from on above. It is not necessary for you to accept or act upon the opinion of another person simply because they have offered it to you. I address myself as counselor. In the event that you seek me first, you will not be required to sort through the plethora of unenlightened and misinformed perspectives that are held by other people who do not have your best interests in mind. Make it your goal to look for my face before you look for another person's face. You do not lack the capacity to investigate my word, to inquire of my spirit, and to put into action what I instruct you to do. When it comes from someone who is walking under a heavier anointing and higher favor than you are experiencing, the counsel of man is only valuable when it comes from that person himself. It is only possible for the person who is counseling you to replicate what they are going through themselves with you. Is that individual walking in an area where they are being promoted, promised, and getting more by my hand? Would it be a blessing for you to have your own personal version of the breakthrough that your counselor experienced? In that case, just be polite and kind, but go on with your life. In the future, I will be the voice that is continually calling over your shoulder, telling you, "This is the way, walk ye in it." Every time you follow my instructions, things will always work out in a way that will bring you to the location where you are blessed. The Father has informed me today that you are not confused. In light of the fact that you possess the mind of Christ, you are not perplexed. It is not a mystery to me, and I am certain of what you should accomplish with your life. In light of the fact that I am not puzzled, you will not be confused either. If you want to accept what I have to say about your life, you must first divert your attention away from the enemy's misdirection. You might not be aware of what your next step is, but you are aware that I am in command of your life, and because of this, you are aware that the conclusion of this matter will be life, peace, abundance, and increases. Maintain your focus on me at all times. Due to the fact that you continue to place your trust in me, you will never be confused. When you are uncertain, check your spirit right away to see if you have made a mistake or disobeyed the command for the first time. In the event that you find something offensive, you should quickly express regret and adapt your behavior accordingly. Allow me to grant you the grace to clean up the mess and continue going forward. You owe no man anything other than to love yourself. I am willing, more than willing, to walk you out of what you are experiencing and into a bright day, says God. Your trespasses and offenses are against me alone, and I am willing, more than willing to do so. Today, the Father instructs us to let our trust and faith to continue to protect us and to bring us to the place where we are blessed. Because you put your faith in me above everything else, you will never longer be fooled by religious con artists or by others who tell lies. Choose to have patience, understanding that the confidence game that promises to make you wealthy quickly is nothing more than a way to deprive you of what I would have already accomplished in your life if you had simply turned to me. Be aware that the word is effective. In your life, my word is manifesting itself. You are being brought to a place of permanency and increase that surpasses all of your expectations by my word. Use my word as a guide. Take my word for it. The Father says that when you speak my word, you bring me into the scenario. Eliminate from your life anything that is in opposition to the words that I have spoken. You should not submit to the tyranny of what the circumstances suggest or what the situation insists on. I am pleased to bless you. You are a child of God. I have made you more powerful. You are growing every day. There will be a promotion reserved for you. It is important to approach it with strong confidence and anticipation. Maintain such a high level of self-assurance in the work that I am doing in your life that you are filled with joy whenever other people receive their blessings before you, knowing that the last will be first. Having faith in what I say and having confidence that the dividends of my promises will be promptly paid into your life are both important things to do. Today, the Father instructs you to confess your shortcomings to other people and your sins to me. Conversely, the opposite is true. According to the Father, there are aspects of your walk with me that are not for those who are merely observers from the outside. Acquire the ability to visit the hidden location. In the event that you visit the undiscovered location, I will reveal to you my secrets that are not available to the general public. There are depths that I will take you to that other people in your life are not invited to go to. I will take you there. Delight in the experience of sharing a place of closeness with me that is not for any other reason than to take pleasure in being in my presence and to soak up a substantial amount of my spirit. Joseph told his brothers about his dreams, and at the moment they heard him, they sold him into slavery. Do you feel as though you have been trapped by the contempt that other people have poured upon you simply because you had the courage to dream? My sweetheart, you should learn to become a person who gathers knowledge rather than someone who gives information. Master the art of responding to questions with questions. By showing a greater interest in what the other person has to say, you will ensure that the guard you have placed on your heart will not abandon his position. I have big and tremendous things that I want to do in the world and in your life, but you must learn to draw yourself aside with me, says God. I want to do these things in conjunction with you. This day, the Father expresses to you that you are not condemned. In the eyes of my divine justice, you are fully free of any guilt or culpability on account of the fact that I have rendered you completely guilt-free and culpable. It is not worth your time to squander it worrying about what other people think. If they point the finger of accusation, they should be aware that the only one who brings such charges is the accuser. There is no reason for you to be concerned about what the losing team thinks about your recent performance. Because I am a part of you, I want to emphasize once more that there is absolutely no condemnation in your life for any reason whatsoever. It is important to have the skill of information gathering rather than information dissemination. As someone who is privy to your life and your prior history, there are certain people who have no business generating opinions based on topics that are not relevant to them. They claim that you are spoiled possessions and that you are not eligible for my blessing. I have no idea what they are talking about, nor do they have any idea where they are coming from. Take heed of my voice, and root yourself in the promise that I have made. Ignore and throw away any word that contradicts what I have stated about you, and believe the positive report that has been distributed. Yes, you are clean. As a result of the word that I have uttered to you, you feel completely clean. All that is required is to have faith in the positive report and to be filled with joy. This day, the Father instructs us to take a deep swallow of my serenity. It is not necessary for there to be calm conditions in order for me to bestow tranquility onto you. The peace that I bestow upon you is not something that happens just when the conditions in your life are calm and peaceful. Rather, it is something that arises from my presence that resides inside you. There are troops of the adversary that are banging on the gates of your existence, threatening to rack and wreck you. My peace is a powerful resonance force that will put an end to these armies. My peace is a river of life that flows out like a flood to wash away all of the noise makers and conflict bringers that the enemy sends to distract you from what I have to say. My peace is a river of life. Please accept my peace. Now that it is here, you can get your hands on it. Take a deep breath. Give the rest of it up. Put an end to the din of the urgent and find a place to rest deep within the abundance of my spirit until nothing else appears to be of any significance. God states that my peace is not the absence of fights or disagreements. You are one of the trees of righteousness, and my peace is a fruit of the Spirit that grows on those trees. When I made the declaration that peace on earth was for the purpose of mending the countries, I was referring to your personal earth. My peace is for the healing of the nations. In order for there to ever be peace among nations, there must first be men and women who have appropriated the peace that I offer, which the world cannot usurp or take away from them. Are you going to turn away from the commotion caused by the men who are rattling and sounding their threats and intimidation tactics against you? I tell you to keep your affections fixed on me, and you will see those self-important demands blown away as the chaff, as the small dust in the balance of the larger testimony of my goodness, my favor, and breakthrough that is piercing the darkness around you, even now. They want you to look at them and pay attention to them, but I tell you to keep your affections set on me. As of today, the Father is saying, awaken to righteousness. Awaken to who you are in Christ, you should say to your heart since it is sleeping. Raise yourself up and see yourself for the first time and for all as the cherished child that I see when I look at you each and every day the entire time that you are here on earth. It is actually a state of spiritual unconsciousness that you are in when you experience feelings of guilt or unworthiness. Once more, I urge you to become aware of the righteousness that I purchased for you on the cross by suffering and dying. Not because of who you are or what you have done, I am moving in your life. I am moving because of you. In the name of my family, I have bestowed upon you the unreserved gift of proper standing. In a way that is far beyond what you are aware of, you are eligible. In addition to being eligible, you are entitled to this. The Father says, I am moving in your life, and I am bringing you to your blessing place because of who I am and what I did for you on the cross 2,000 years ago. I am acting in your life because of these things. As your own personal acknowledgement of who you are and who I am in you, I want you to adopt and wear this mentality. I want you to wear it as a symbol of who you are. According to the Father, you are entitled, who will do anything to take away your rights. Because you are holy and have always been blameless in front of me in love, even before the foundation of the world was ever laid, who is going to accuse you of anything? It is not my will for other people to accuse and smear you, and it is not what I say about you. When other people come against you, they are doing so. I declare that you have been redeemed. To put it simply, I forgive you. I assert that you are entitled, that you are a rightful successor to an unrivaled dominion that cannot be lessened or prevailed against. Let that be your foundational understanding of who you are, and allow it to serve as the basis for how you perceive yourself. Refuse to view yourself through any other lens than the one that I have ordained. Refuse to accept the accusations that men have made against you, as well as the self-criticisms that you have made about yourself because you are not enlightened. Remember that I am larger than your heart and that I am aware of everything that you are experiencing when your heart blames you. Because of this reality, you are free. Because of this fact, you have been redeemed. When you discover that reality, you will discover the ring that is on your finger and the robe of royalty that is on your shoulders. Both of these things are appropriate for someone like you, for whom the purchase price of Calvary was paid.